Hi everyone and welcome to our topic which will focus on the cost-based pricing. So first is let's talk about the different cost which is the fixed and the variable cost. So dito when you say the word fixed cost, ito yung expenses na hindi nagbabago So every month whether mataas ang production or mataas ang sales, ay same pa rin yung binabayaran natin. So commonly is rent, Then we also have salaries kung walang overtime, normal 8 hours work lang. So you're going to pay for the same amount. And of course, we have the insurance. So example is a company pays for the same amount for rent regardless of how much it produces. So what is the implication? This cost need to be covered regardless of sales volume. Kumbaga, pag ikaw ay magpa-price ng isang product, syempre dapat yung pricing mo kayang mabayaran yung fixed cost mo. Kasi kunyari, sobrang baba ng sales mo. So, despite the low sales, kaya pa bang bayaran yung renta? Syempre, you have to pay for that, despite the low sales. Kaya, pricing decision is also important. So, kung kanina fixed cost is not nagbabago, this variable cost is changing, Kasi it is directly related to the level of production. So, pag tumataas yung production, tumataas din yung variable cost. So, example of which is the raw materials and of course, the direct labor. Then of course, the cost of raw materials increases as production increases. So ang implication nito class is it influence the per unit cost, Na kung saan dapat when you are going to consider pricing, you have to check kung napapababa mo ba yung per unit cost as much as possible. So total cost calculation. So the formula of total cost is basically fixed cost plus the variable cost per unit plus the number of unit produced. So, in terms of application, once kasi na nalaman mo yung total cost, it helps in setting a price, okay, that covers all the costs that contributes to the profit. In terms of the cost structures, so meron tayong tinatawag na high fixed cost industries at high variable cost industries. So, ano ba yung mga high fixed cost na industries? We have the airlines, automotive manufacturers kasi talagang malalaki yung planta nila unlike the retail yung mga convenience stores, we have the food and beverage production, yung mga restaurant, fast food. These are high variable costs. So let's focus on this what we call markup and margin calculations. So dito class when we say the word markup, ito yung amount added to the cost of a product para i-determine yung selling price rather. So the formula for markup is selling price minus cost divided by cost. So anong purpose nito? It ensures that all costs are covered and a profit margin is achieved. Based on my experience, for example, in the fast food industry, one of our high margin na product is the beverages, like mga soft drinks, iced tea. So in order for us to have a higher margin, profit margin, pinapasuggest namin sa mga cashiers namin yung mga ganong klaseng product para tumaas yung profit margin namin. Compared to the meals, mas maliit kasi yung profit margin namin dun. So margin is the difference between the selling price and the cost of a product, expressed as percentage. So the formula for that is margin is equals to selling price minus cost divided by the selling price. So anong purpose nito? Siyempre, it indicates profitability of a product, just like what I mentioned a while ago. So examples of which is a product costs $50 to produce. With a 40% markup, the selling price would be $70. Margin example, if the product is sold at $70 and the cost is $50, then the margin is approximately 28.6%. So let's have the cost plus pricing method. So, when we say the word cost plus pricing, ito yung straightforward na pagpaprice, no? Kung saan nagkakaroon tayo ng fixed percentage or amount na ina-add natin dun sa production cost. So, ang formula is selling price is equals to cost plus markup. So, ganun lang kasimple. So, ang common usage nito is, normally, it is used in industries where costs are relatively stable and predictable. So, kung yung cost naman ay stable siya, no, hindi naman masyado nag-increase or nagdi-decrease, napakagandang gamitin ng cost plus pricing. Then, of course, we have types of cost plus pricing. We have the standard markup pricing, kung saan yung fixed percentage is added to the cost. Meron din tayong absorption cost pricing, kung saan all fixed and variable costs are covered before adding a markup, no? So, yun yung parang consideration natin. Tinitingnan natin ano ba yung mga fixed and variable, then after nun, saka tayo maglalagay ng markup. We also have this contribution margin pricing, wherein it focuses on covering variable costs first and then contributing to fixed costs and profit. So, inuuna muna yung variable, no? I-check kung magkano, then after that, no, then we could consider the fixed cost afterwards. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages? So, first is, no, simplicity and ease of implementation, no? Napakadaling i-implement. It ensures all costs are covered, reducing the risk of losses. In terms of disadvantage, does not consider market demand, no? Minsan, mataas ang demand for the product, pwede pa natin siyang itaas, nakabasa lang tayo sa cost, no? Or even sa competitor, no? Parang nakabasa lang tayo sa parang hindi natin binabase yung competitor's price. Kaya ang tendency, mataas yung presyo ng competitor, may demand, hindi natin tinataasan. So, sayang yung opportunity for that. And of course, may result in prices that are too high or too low. Kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina. Industry examples are, of course, no, is the retail, commonly used for setting prices in retail environment where costs are easy to determine. In terms of manufacturing, ganun din, often used in custom manufacturing where each product may have different costs. So, punta naman tayo, class, doon sa tinatawag nating break-even analysis and its application. So, remember, pag sinabing break-even, ito yung point kung saan yung revenue at total cost ay equal, no? Kung saan there's no profit or loss. Kagaya nung sinabi natin before sa first lecture, kunyari, ang break-even point mo is 100. So, dapat ang target mo as manager is more than 100, 200 pieces or 300. Kasi pag 100 lang ang nabenta mo, wala kang loss, wala kang gain, diba, or profit. So, dapat once you know that your break-even point is 100 pieces, no? So therefore, you have to sell, or the products that you need to be sold is more than 100. So the formula for the break-even is fixed cost divided by the selling price per unit minus the variable cost per unit. So what is the purpose of this? No, it helps the businesses na malaman nila kung magkano ba yung minimum sales volume, no? Nang sa ganon, maiwasan yung possible losses. Kasi pag, kunyari, break-even point mo 100, nakabenta ka lang ng 90 pieces, automatic, alam mo na agad sa sarili mo without looking on the financial statement na lugi ka or na loss ka that time. So, there's an example here. A company has fixed cost of $10,000, a variable cost of $5 per unit, and a selling price of $15 per unit. So, calculation is $10,000 divided by $15 minus $5 is equals to 1,000 unit. So, ito yung break-even point. So, dapat more than 1,000 unit ang mabenta para ikaw ay magkaroon ng profit. So, yan. So, what is the implication? The company must sell 1,000 units to cover all its costs. So, application in pricing strategy, no? So, once kasi naintindihan mo yung break-even point, pwede mo siyang iset yung price, no? Pwedeng taasan mo yung margin para mas mabilis mong maabot yung break-even point. So, in terms also of financial planning, no? Pwede kasi kayong magplano in terms of various scenarios. Pwedeng pagbabago sa fixed cost, no? Tumaas yung renta, or pwedeng pagbabago sa variable cost. So, let's proceed with determining price point, no? So, understanding minimum price. So, ito yung parang lowest price at which a product can be sold without incurring a loss. So, hanggat kaya, no, we are trying to really, no, put a minimum price. Nang sa ganun, ay ito yung pinakamababa nating pwedeng ipabenta yung product. So, calculation is the minimum price is equals to the variable cost per unit plus fixed cost divided by the expected sales volume. So, ang purpose nito ay, para makita talaga yung all costs are covered and avoid pricing below cost. Kasi pag nagpa-price ka below cost, tendency, malulugi ka or palugi yung benta mo. Example of which is a company with $10,000 fixed cost, $5 variable cost per unit, and an expected sales volume of 2,000 units. So with the formula that was mentioned, so $5 no plus $10,000 divided by 2,000 pesos. So therefore, the minimum price for this product should be $10 per unit. So, strategic consideration, so, syempre, depende sa market condition. So, it should be competitive, no? Nang sa ganon ay mas i-prefer yan ng mga customers. Okay? And then, of course, we have to have this discounting, no? Kumbaga, um, baka mamaya, ito na yung minimum price mo, tapos nag-discount ka pa, edi loss na yun, okay? So, kunyari, no? Ang gagawin mo discarte dyan, o kunyari, iset mo ng $15, for example, tapos parang palalabasin mo, $5 discount. O di minimum price pa rin yung ginawa mong diskarte. And of course, we have the impact of cost structure on pricing decision. So first, no, kagaya na sinabi natin, we have the high fixed cost structure. Ito yung mga manufacturing airlines, no, na talagang kailangan ng mga matitinding malalaki na fix, no? I mean, mga planta, ganon, or structures, equipment. And of course, we have the high variable cost. So normally, ito yung para sa mga retail and food production. Mataas sa kanilang variable cost. So pricing flexibility, no, fixed versus variable cost. So companies with high fixed costs might have less pricing flexibility as they need to cover this cost regardless of sales volume. So dahil nga mataas ang kanilang fixed cost, kailangan medyo taasan din talaga nila yung pricing nila at hindi sila basta pwedeng magtaas at magbaba dahil kailangan nilang i-cover yung kanilang fixed cost. Okay? So in terms of scalability, no, businesses with high variable costs scale prices more easily, no, adjusting them as production level changes. So ang kagandahan naman sa mga high variable cost na industry ay pwede na lang itaas, no, i-adjust yung presyo. So, strategic implication, volume-based pricing, no, companies with high fixed costs may focus on volume to spread this cost over a large number of units. Okay? On the cost management side naman, yung businesses may also focus on reducing variable costs to improve profitability without necessarily increasing price. So, kumbaga, ang gagawin mo lang doon, 'di ba? I-decrease mo yung variable cost tapos you're going to have the same price. Kasi minsan, yung kunyari sa food, no? Yung mga tao, budget meal lang talaga ang kaya. So, ang gagawin mo dyan, i-reduce mo yung serving, diba? Para at least makakabili pa rin sila ng product. And lastly is the limitation and risk of cost-based pricing. So, ang potential drawback niyan is it ignores market demand. So, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, no, it focuses solely on cost and may not reflect kung ano ba yung willing yung customer to pay. So, minsan, they are willing to pay more pero nasasayang no, hindi natin consider. Also, in terms of competitive disadvantage, so if competitors use value-based pricing or competitive-based pricing, cost-based pricing might result in a non-competitive price. Then, of course, there's a risk of underpricing or overpricing, no? So, depending on the cost variation, yung pagbabago ng cost, no? A company may end up setting the price too low and eroding profits, no? Or too high, reducing sales volume. And of course, no, in terms of market consideration, syempre, no, the dynamic markets, no, is really, masasabi natin, nag-change talaga yung market, no. So, cost-based pricing may be too rigid and fail to respond to changes in demand or competition. So, in terms of innovation and technology, talaga yung mga industries, no, talagang, yung mga innovative industries, talaga nagda-drive sila to let the cost down. Kunyari, e-commerce, di ba? Rather than having a physical store for renting and pay rent, no? Ngayon, pwede mo na siyang maiwasan, no? You can just do e-commerce at home. Then of course, in terms of mitigation strategies, so pwede magkaroon ng hybrid approaches kung saan pwede mong i-combine yung cost-based pricing with market research. Nang sa ganon, ay yes, nagko-cost-based ka, pero dahil nagma-market research ka, pwede mong i-adjust, no, at malaman yung um, market demand for your product, which enable you to do perceived value pricing. So that's all, and thank you. Ay, meron pa pala. And regular cost review, sorry, continuously reviewing and adjusting for changes in cost and market conditions. So dito, once na yun nga, nag-set ka ng prices this month or dapat rin-review mo rin yan na sa ganun ay ma-adjust natin yun at magkaroon ng positive impact sa revenue and income. So, thank you so much.